Hello people and welcome to the Party Starters podcast with me, Kane Towning. This guest is a DJ and producer hailing from Birmingham. Over our years at Sleeping is Cheating, he has always been a DJ that we would look to book. He's managed to adapt, change his name, go under various different aliases and keep relevant as a DJ that you would always look to book for your shows. I want to find out how has he kept relevant, how has he kept his profile up there and changed with the times. He's very much still at the peak of his career, now releasing music on Defected, playing at all the big Defected shows, and he shares an emotional moment at one of them shows on New Year's Day at Printworks. He offers some good advice, it's short, sweet, straight to the point, so let's get into it. Welcome to the Party Starters podcast, Lo Steppa.
It was all a dream.
Welcome to the Party Starters podcast with me, Kane Towning.
I know you're gonna dig this.
So, Will, thank you very much for coming on the Party Starters podcast. Much appreciated. I've known you, I think, for around 8 years now. You was one of our first bookings at Insomnia in Mission. And throughout our 8 to 10 years of Sleeping is Cheating, you've always been a headline act for us through all the different eras. I think we first got you when it was like a bit fidgety, and then it went to more house, and then there was a bit of the jacking era, and then the bass era, and then more recently the tech stuff. How have you managed to keep at the top of your game throughout all them different eras and all them years? How have you've always been, whatever kind of is hot at the minute, you've always been at the top of it. You've always been a bookable artist.
I think a lot of it is Low Steppa has been, I've made all the big mistakes, in the past. So I feel like I've got it right this time. And I feel like this is me done now, hopefully. I want to do Low Steppa really. That's me sort of set, if you know what I mean.
In terms of the sound, in terms of the stuff you're playing?
Well, I mean, even the name, I don't want to sort of change again. I want to sort of I feel like this is rolling now. And this is like I think I'm in my 21st year now as a DJ, 21 years. And I think I'm playing what I started off playing. I've gone full cycle and I'm just dead happy with what I'm playing. And, like house music, I see it as quite a classic sound of house that I do. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I do play bits of tech and stuff, but it's all very much grounded in something that sounds more, like pianos and vintage and just that true house vibe. But I feel like, going back, I think you just got to pay attention to what's going on, but also do your own thing. And then you've got to be on the ball with what's going on if you want to be in it for the long term. I've seen so many people, they do well in a genre and then when it changes, they're kind of lost and they disappear. And I think the hard thing is to keep going for any artist, to stay relevant, I suppose, yeah.
And you have done that. I mean, you've been relevant throughout all that time, massively relevant. You've always been kind of at the top of the pile.
Even having a dip sometimes, it's really good because it can you need that hunger to keep going. I remember in 2013 when I stopped doing my Will Bailey stuff, I actually got an office job, for a bit. Right. And I was doing Low Steppa, and I was just playing. I'd gone back to my roots. I was playing in Birmingham again for Tom Shorter's at the Rainbow. Just, I went. I came back from Los Angeles, and I chose to start again. And I remember I was playing for real low fee again for Tom, and it was really good again, mate. It gave me that hunger. It was really nice to press the reset button. Mm-hmm. Luckily, I got sacked from that job after a couple of months. And I sat down and I said, right, I've got to do it. I'm going to make this happen. Because I was about to be a dad as well. And it's been the best. I mean, this summer was going to be the best summer I've ever had.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that.
I'm playing my bedroom again. But you've just got to you've got to make the most of and that's why I really enjoy doing the live streams, mate. I mean, I'm not getting paid a penny, but I'm enjoying playing music maybe I wouldn't normally get to play because I haven't got to think about, is the dance floor going to like this one? Do you know what I mean? It's different with live streams and I quite enjoy that side of it.
Yeah. And throughout all that time, you've always been producing music. Is that been key as well to staying relevant?
It is totally key. Yeah. I was always just like a local DJ before I started making tunes. And then I remember in 2007, I'd put a couple of tunes out on vinyl, which probably sounded terrible. But I got someone in Brazil hit me up and I went and played in Sao Paulo.
Wow.
And it was like, that's what I mean. It's your business card to the world. So you do have to you have got to produce, I think, really. Unless you've got some mad, like say you're some insanely technical DJ or something. But even then, you've got guys like James Hype who are crazy on the decks, but he's still he makes music too. So, I think you've got to do it all.
Yeah, I guess when you can produce tracks, you can tailor your productions to what is hot at the minute. You don't have to just rely on your.
I think it's just useful being a producer anyway. I mean, I've just grabbed some really old tracks off Beatport, but they're really quiet. So I just nipped upstairs and like mastered them myself, so I can play them tonight. So they don't. When a tune's really quiet, but it's just nice to have little skills, even if you're not going to make full on tunes, at least be able to make little edits and put two records together or snip the boring bit out the tune or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, very true. So you're now playing kind of the music that you really love, really passionate about, and you've had recent releases on Defected. Has that just been a real dream, and was that always a goal?
Yeah, Defected's been a massive part of enabling me. It was Defected really that enabled me to position myself where I wanted to be, because I had a bit of a stigma a few years ago. It was like, Low Steppa is like the bass house guy, and I didn't like it because I kind of wanted to be just seen as a house artist, and Defected's really enabled me to do that. And it's one of the first labels that I bought records from, so that is just really special, mate, to be involved. And the good thing about Defected, it is like a family, mate. Like, all the staff and everyone's at the gigs, and it is a really great movement. So I'm lucky, mate, to be in there.
What's been a memorable Defected gig for you?
Straight off the top of my head, Printworks New Year's Day. I closed it. I played last, and I think I had a little cry when I came off the decks.
Really? Wow, amazing.
You're looking down that big long room and you're playing. I can't remember what I finished with. It was probably something like Frankie Knuckles' Your Love or Kings of Tomorrow finally. And when you've been playing these records as an 18-year-old to like no one in a bar in Bristol, I always look back and remember.
Yeah.
You got to remember where you come from, and that's what maybe some artists don't. And I think it's beautiful to see, like, I used to play this tune to no one, and some, people would come up going, "Got any R&B?" And then years later, you stood in front of thousands of people being appreciated. So
that's really good. So, what is your real key advice to people wanting to follow in the footsteps of Low Steppa and follow your journey to the top?
So I feel there's two parts. The first one is what we've already touched on, is your production. There's so many online courses now, and YouTube. There was none of that when I was doing it. I had to learn a lot of things myself, but now it's so easy to nip on YouTube and learn stuff. But another big part of it is, like I said a few years ago when I started playing again in Birmingham, is just get out there, go to the nights, meet people, hang around the booth. You don't have to be a nose, but, just get involved and, be friendly and try and get in that DJ booth, and have a giggle with everyone and just try and meet people and show your face and start off. A key thing, right, I think you've got to start off, your foundation needs to be in your city. I've always said, whenever I've had good periods, it's grown from doing well in my city. You don't just want to aim straight for like, I want to play in Ibiza. If you're from Birmingham, you want to start playing at the Credible Nights in Birmingham, or if you're from Leeds, the same thing. Mm-hmm. And just go from the bottom up. So that's my key advice. Yeah. I mean, it is hard because I know there's a lot of promoters who just want to book someone who will sell tickets or bring, but there are proper promoters too. I know, for instance, like Will Power at Lab 11 in Birmingham, he's not interested if you can bring, he just, he wants to book good DJs because the promoters really should be filling their venues. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think there is still a good chance for people who are good and do a good mix and stuff, so, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, that's positive to hear as well, coming from someone like yourself who is a big name artist now, that you still value the quality in the DJ and that there's still promoters out there looking for that, guess, the originality and quality of what a DJ is rather than how many tickets they can sell or what the social media following is.
It's like when I do my own parties, I do my boiling point. It was actually in March. I managed to do 3 of them, but we had to cancel the last 3, which is a shame. But I generally have my pals on, Jack Hard and Guy Burns, because I know they're going to do the job. Even in other cities when maybe it might be better to have other people on or bigger names, I'd rather have the people on who I know are going to play the right music. So
yeah, deliver as a DJ rather than.
Yeah, totally.
Brilliant, Will. Well, as I say, really appreciate you coming on and thank you very much. Some really good points and advice there.
Mate, pleasure, mate. Anytime, man.
It was all a dream.
Welcome to the Party Starters podcast with me, Kane Towning.
I know you're gonna dig this.